Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yokoso, 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 konbanwa. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 60 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, of course, Clive Illenden, your host for tonight. We have a great show. Of course, we have a great show. I'm not going to come on here and say we have a terrible show. We have a great show. Of course we do. And we'll be talking all things Stadia, news of the week, and, of course, discussing the possible June Pro games. Let me know your thoughts. Put them in the chat and all of that. But, of course, before all that, don't forget, hit them likes, everybody. Hit the likes, as I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you, the clever ones. Yeah, the clever ones like you, yeah. Find content like this. And if you are new here, I see some new people in chat. If you are new here, good for you. Now, make your life complete by hitting that subscribe button, and make my life complete as well by toggling the notification bell so you know when I go live with the Stadia Monday Night Show, among other stuff, ladies and gentlemen, among other stuff. Anyway, always good. Yeah, we have a terrible show. Exactly. Always good to see you guys in the chat. Remember to say hello, everybody, mingle, all of that. Feel free to use the super chats, of course, and let me know what games you've been playing and all those kind of things. Let's have a quick look and see who's in the chat before we progress, before I forget, because I see some new faces in there. We've got We Love Stadia, yo, and we've got Hello School. I hope I'm saying that. Hello School. Not seen you before in the chat. Welcome. An interesting story here. It's not, I'm afraid to say it's not a unique story. I've seen, anecdotally, we've seen this story before. Just a regular insert console here, PlayStation guy in this case, who also liked YouTube, Then got tired of the ads one day and got YouTube Premium and was offered free Stadia Premier Edition without knowing it. Then he goes on to say, no, without knowing anything about Stadia, and then I was hooked. Stadia got me back into video games. Haven't really played much PlayStation 4 since. Heard that so many, that's a kind of a regular theme that you hear often by people going, "Oh, got me back into gaming," or "I've not touched my Xbox One," or whatever. Like, I have an Xbox. Barely touched it since I've had Stadia, just of the convenience. Whoa! Thank you, Vivi, for the subscription. Always appreciated. Always appreciated. Anyway, as I say, before I rudely interrupted there. So we had Hello, Sednar, of course, Crow, Resin, sorry, Ray, my friend, Mr. Bayram, how are you? Ex-Predator, hello, Lord Vivek, Johnny the Robot Wizard, hey, Clive, and Eddie. Yes, Ark, yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah, Ark. Yeah, I've put that down again, like for the last 3 months, I think. Surely it's got to be Ark. Liam, Streamlabs, welcome Streamlabs. And Stadia Dosage News, of course, Clive is alive. And the People's Club, evening. And everybody else, great to see you all. Anyway, games I've been playing, for those that are interested. Excuse me. I finished Resident Evil Village. Wow. I'm taking a rest now. I've sort of had a few days off gaming, partly because of the impact of the game. I felt like I needed, like it felt a bit odd trying to just go into another game. Like I felt I wouldn't feel the same about it. I have to be very selective about what game I went straight into after Resident Evil Village, because I just loved Resident Evil Village. Well, yeah, loved it. I thought it was great. It just looked great. It played well. It's such a great, fantastic port. If you've not played it, it's just really kind of clever, and it takes some interesting twists. No spoilers, but there's a bit towards the end where it's sort of, it changes its sort of the genre a little bit, or just focuses on a slightly different bit of a genre than the genre you've been used to playing with, which is quite fun. And then it kind of flips back. It's just quite interesting, some of the kind of ideas and things that they put in there. But anyway, I was just blown away. Just really a great game, and a great example of what can be achieved on Stadia in terms of the quality, of the game and all of that. I've still Judgment I haven't finished, so perhaps I could go back to that. And here's the thing, guess what? I've never, and this is going to shock, maybe, I'm going to make a shocking statement here, but I have never, ever played Red Dead Redemption 2. Never played it in my life. It's one game I've always wanted to play, but for some reason, partly because it was always about 40, 50 quid, I just never got around to buying it. I know, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Especially if you know my background in the history of spaghetti westerns and studying spaghetti westerns. Yeah, I study spaghetti westerns. I even set up a company, that bought the rights to old spaghetti westerns from the 60s and 70s to release them on video. Remember video? DVD will never take over video. People will always want video. Anyway, so I had a video publishing company, and we released spaghetti westerns, which I acquired from film distributors. Anyway, so I have a long passion and interest in westerns and spaghetti westerns, and yet I've never played Red Dead Redemption as a gamer. Anyway, that's another story, ladies and gentlemen, another story. But anyway, I bought it. I finally bought it a few weeks ago in the last sale it had, because when that goes on sale, it's worth getting. So Lord Kensal will be doing a complete greenhorn dive into Red Dead Redemption 2. So look out for that. A complete noob playing it. Unbelievable. People's Club said once Upon a Time in the West is probably in my top 5 favorite films. Yeah. Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson. Yeah, excellent. Anyway, we're not here to discuss. I could have a whole channel on discussing spaghetti westerns. Had a whole company doing it. Anyway, it's been a quiet week. Before I do that, let's just put that there. Yeah, I haven't. People's Club, I haven't finished Resident Evil 7. That's a good point. I should go back. I feel I'm more in tune with the game now. Maybe I could go back and I could focus on that a bit more. Now I've got the first part of Resident Evil Village seemed the longer bit, but I think that's your learning experience. And then towards the next sort of bosses, you sort of rattle through them a bit because you sort of got the hang of the game by then. That's my experience anyway. Anyway, as I was saying, back to the news, ladies and gentlemen, back to the news. Quiet week, really, if we're honest, in Stadia terms, considering Stadia have either announced or released a game virtually every week since beginning of the year. It's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. So, hey, let them have a sort of a day off, as it were. Let them have a week off. So just the one solitary post, but we'll take a look at it. We'll go to it. That's what we do, isn't it? That's what we do. Where is it? Yeah. Wow. White light. So here we are. Just some news on some expansion packs for Gods Will Fall. The island of gods has been conquered and your clan of warriors has battled its way to victory, breaking the gods' grip on humanity. Now the ranks of the merciless gods are swelled by the awakening of a new evil in the Valley of the Dormant Gods, Part 1. The first of 3 gods will fall. Add-on content episodes. So there we go. Some DLC for that. And more outward as well. The 3 brothers. Expansion takes you on a journey through the unique world of Aurora. And a bonkers sale from Ubisoft, which seemed to permanently be on sale, Ubisoft games, but some bonkers things there. But I'm still waiting for Ubisoft Plus to come to Europe. I'm going to give up soon and just buy a particular game, like Syndicate or something. $8.99. Maybe I should just buy Syndicate because it's set in Victorian London. I love Victorian London. That's the one, yeah. The Syndicate, isn't it? One set in London. Maybe I'll just buy that. I can't be bothered to wait for Ubisoft Plus to come to Europe. Ugh. But anyway, so that was it really in terms of the community blogs last week. So not a lot really on that. Although we did get a tweet, which I think is more the format of how it is when a publisher announces a game, then maybe Stadia will come out and tweet it. So we've got here Foreclosed. So Foreclosed has got a release date of August the 12th. I think it's August the 12th. Fortunately, the video's playing over the thing. It'll say at the end of here anyway. I love the whole comic book style of this game. And it's sort of cyberpunk kind of style. And then it's sort of split panel comics there and the blam, blam, blam. And also it looks like you can swap between the weapons pictured on his back there. And use objects as well. It looks just really interesting. I did see Bill from Nerdnest talking about it and wondering whether the split screens, the split panels, actually form part of the gameplay or just part of the cutscene. So August the 12th, ladies and gentlemen. August the 12th, as I said. So look forward to that one, the other side of summer or the middle of the summer. However you want to say it, ladies and gentlemen, however you want to say it. Also, as well, crossplay news. Destiny 2 is going crossplay. So we know last week there was that whole faux pas, snafu by somebody at the Destiny servers who pressed a button and suddenly allowed crossplay for everybody. Well, now they're actually going to do a beta of the crossplay, an official beta, not an unofficial, who's pressed that button and released it into the wild kind of beta, and a genuine controlled beta, and crossplay release here. So we know it's been a long and wanted, especially on Stadia, a much needed, if anything, requirement of crossplay on Destiny 2 is going to change the game literally for Stadia players when crossplay comes. And I'll come to that a bit more as well. Anyway, the arrival of Destiny 2 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series brings the reality a little closer of crossplay. And here it is. It will be available between Tuesday, May the 25th. Tomorrow. Wow. So it's just Tuesday. It's tomorrow till Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So tomorrow till Thursday, crossplay beta. And it's accessible for all players across every platform, but only in the Vanguard Strikes playlist. As a reward for participating in the crossplay beta, those who complete, whoop whoop, thank you Stadia Krampus for the subscription, much appreciated. As a reward for competing in the crossplay, you get some lovely emblems. Lovely. So that's very exciting, I think. I mean, it's a massive. I'd say it's massive. When they release this in the fall, which I think is the plan, fully release crossplay, I think Stadia is clearly the platform that is going to benefit the most, without a doubt. Absolutely, without a doubt. And I think it's just really kind of exciting. Just have a look here. Yeah. So the other thing as well, talking of crossplay, ladies and gentlemen, is Super Bomberman R Online 64 Battle Royale, which was exclusive to Stadia. Super Bomberman R Online existed on other platforms, but not the 64-player Battle Royale. Well, the 64-player Battle Royale is now coming, ladies and gentlemen, is now coming to other platforms. We know the trailer, but this is the official trailer coming to other platforms. So the Battle 64 mode. And again, this is going to be cross-platform. And again, the console that will benefit most from this is going to be Stadia, because it's a free-to-play on Stadia, isn't it? I'm correct in that. Yes, I'm thinking, yeah, it's a free-to-play on Stadia. So again, of all the consoles and platforms, this is a great thing, and for Stadia. So it'll be on PlayStation, it'll be on Xbox, play on Stadia, play with your mates across those platforms. This is really good stuff. Because we hear these complaints about Stadia, not enough player base. That's the problem with Stadia, and that's why there's that cry always for cross-party play and all those sort of things. So yes, coming very, very soon. Super Bomberman R Online 64-player Battle Royale mode coming to platforms near you. So as I said before, another example of what a great, of how important cross-play is for Stadia, and Stadia is the one that's going to benefit from it, as I said before. So let's put that there. Right. So the other thing as well, talking of crossplay, the other thing is Outcasters. So many of people would have had an email from Outcasters from a publisher saying that the Outcasters is now moving away from Stadia Games and Entertainment. So originally it was Stadia Games and Entertainment Original, as it were. And now they've handed the rights back to a publisher, and the terms and conditions have changed. But ultimately what that means is, by doing that, Stadia have allowed that game to thus go onto other platforms. So again, you're going to have another Stadia game that potentially will be on other platforms with crossplay. It makes, there'd be no sense if it wasn't crossplay. So I'm fairly certain when Outcasters, which I'm fairly certain will, goes to other platforms, it's going to be crossplay. Again, another fantastic benefit to Stadia. Stadia is a platform that's going to benefit from crossplay more than all the other platforms. So I don't know for sure when they're going to be publishing Outcasters on other platforms, but why give the Outcasters IP back to the publisher if the publisher isn't going to try to exploit it and, make the most it can from it? So this, as I say, it bodes really well for Outcasters because there's a lot of people. It was a massively fun game. There was a lot of, it had a sort of, it burned bright and then sort of died off a bit. And that's partly to do, I think, with the Stadia player base. We get very excited when a new games come out, as with all platforms. People get very excited and then it sort of plateaus a bit. And on major platforms, that's less of an issue because that plateau still means there's loads and loads of players. But on Stadia, that plateau can have a slightly more detrimental effect on the game because there's not enough players always. So the fact that Outcasters is going multi-platform as well is a massive thing. So I said before, these games, hello Yoshida and goodbye, hello. Konbanwa Yoshida. So these games coming to other platforms with crossplay, as I say, is really great for Stadia. One of the big complaints of multiplayer games on Stadia that you hear loads of complaints about Stadia. We know that. We've heard them for nearly 1.5 years. But one of them is, I can never get matched up. Personally, it's not been a problem for me, but there must be some validity in that statement that people don't get matched up or that there's not enough players, because it is a complaint you hear a lot. Yeah. And it is a sort of a con, it's not in the pros list. It's a con that you can throw at Stadia. Yeah. Oh no, Stadia's great and all that, but I'm not interested because there's not enough player base and all that. Well, anyway, you've got Outcasters, Super Bomberman, Destiny 2, Super Animal Royale coming, the forthcoming Death Carnival, plus some other games which are cross-platform already as well. All of this is great for Stadia. And it strikes down that's another knockdown of one of those lazy excuses against why you can't be bothered to type in stadia.com into your browser for free and would rather go, no, I want to spend 500 quid on a platform that isn't even available because they've all sold out. But I'd rather do that than type in the word stadia.com into my browser and give it a go. And then moan you can't get hold of the latest current generation platform. Well, that lazy excuse, well, there's not enough players on... Gone. Crossplay, coming. Big time. Just saying, people, just saying. Eddie Player One. Well, Eddie Player One, you kind of committed yourself to Outcasters early doors. Now it's only bots there. Well, Eddie, maybe things are going to be a changing, Eddie, yeah? I think they'll change. I think we will see Outcasters coming to other platforms very, very soon. Gandara says, Rainbow Six Siege is crossplay, at least with PC. Exactly. I think, we've seen it before and we've talked about it on this channel, and it's not just Stadia, it's publishers. They all know now that's the way the wind is blowing. Yeah. Players demand crossplay. And if you better have a really good reason crossplay's not in your title going forward. If it's exclusive to that platform or something like that. Because this is what players want. This is the feedback. This is why Ubisoft have made a commitment to make every game crossplay. I've said it loads of times on here. Laura Meal of EA Studios has said their intention is to make every game crossplay. So there we go. Another thing is, well, we've seen the potential. We keep seeing the potential of a lot of kids' games coming to Stadia recently. We've seen certain kid games being certified on the various certification boards, like the ESRB or USK and those things. And this is a good thing because, a lot of people sort of say you want that variety and you'll be able to games, for kids to play as well. Well, could Peppa Pig, ladies and gentlemen, Could Peppa Pig be coming to Stadia? Could be. So there was this tweet. I'll put it up here. So they announced recently from Outright Games here, Outright Games, Scooterama, that Peppa Pig was being released. And Scooterama here, shout out to Scooterama, sent a tweet and it said, to all platforms, does that mean Stadia? Too right. I just think your marketing forgot the logo at the end of the video. Okay. But look, their response. It's something we're working on, but can't confirm quite yet. Once it's certain, we'll be announcing on all our social. Thanks for the interest. Once it's certain. So that basically means it is, yeah, but they can't fit because the lawyer, like me, said, no, I haven't done the deal yet. So don't make any announcements. Yeah, I'm still finalising the contract. I've got it signed. I've got a backlog of work here. Why are you nagging me? We want to announce it. Well, you can't announce it until I've signed the contract. That's what I do at work. I'm the one that holds up the announcements. Well, you announce it at your own risk, but I haven't signed the contract. Anyway, so Outright Games. So we know some of their games are coming to Stadia because, as I say, we've seen them certified. If we go to their site, because we've talked about PJ Masks. I'm sure that being rumoured is coming. And where is the other one? Here we are. Blaze, Axle City Races was another one we rumoured was coming. And I think there was another one as well. Paw Patrol was rumoured as coming. So there's a good chance here. Peppa Pig. And I think this is great for Stadia because it not only gives that variety of games and stuff that you come to expect, you know, and we know that a lot of gamers on Stadia are, you know, family people, slightly older, you know, ex gamers who are now dads or mums or whatever and stuff like that, and have slightly less time and have kids and responsibilities. So it's good that you can sort of say, you know, play with your family, say, here we are, Peppa Pig or whatever and stuff like that. Plus, they're the gamers of the future. And they ain't going to be the jaded. They're not going to grow up jaded going, oh, I only play on consoles. I like to own my games in physical form. Yeah. No, these are the gamers of the future, baby. And what will they be playing it on? Yeah. Stadia. Why are you listening to CDs, Grandad? We listen to Spotify. Why are you playing games on your PlayStation, Grandad? We play on Stadia, man. Yeah. Gamer of the future. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, judging by that tweet, as I say, pretty certain that just the ink hasn't dried on the contracts as far as I'm saying. So, plus it'd be interesting. I don't know whether all their games are coming or just a select few as well. That's the other thing to bear in mind because, you know, but you never know. But clearly, Stadia's on their radar based on the information that we've got, right? The follow the trail, follow the breadcrumbs. We've seen some of them certified. That basically gave it away. They just couldn't confirm it. They weren't denying it, but basically saying as soon as they can confirm it, they will. Anyway, also talking of rumors, because we love rumors about games, don't we? We love the rumors. Now, this is an interesting rumor. I'm a bit more skeptical than some people on this one. But this is from Stadia Source. Personally, as I say, I'm a bit more skeptical, but you never know. Lies of P. Now, this is a very, very early sort of proof of concept teaser trailer. It's a game being developed by Round 8 Studios and published by NeoWiz. Apparently, according to an article at Gematsu, it's headed for Stadia, as well as PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Then there was a Polygon article, and it listed Stadia, and then that was taken off, I think. But anyway, here's a trailer. So it's based on the Pinocchio sort of story, but in a kind of slightly twisted, dark, nightmarish one. I'll give you some sound, actually. But it's got a kind of real interesting steampunk apocalyptic kind of feel to it. Based on the sort of Pinocchio myth, as it were. Pinocchio theme. Being made and developed specifically for current gen. And bear in mind, this is scheduled for release in 2023, so I talked about games. Nice. Nice. About games really pushing the technical boundaries of the current gen. We're not going to see until a couple of years later. And this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about, really, potentially. Anyway, check out that. It's very, very early stages, but it's got a great look. But again, it's more a concept, I think, to sort of sell the game and the idea. There we go. Right. Anyway, so that is rumored, and I'm sort of really sprinkling salt on that. Is that a thing? Scotching that rumor? Not scotching it. Umnar, keep going there. Good to see you as well. It was good to see you come back, Umnar. I love that. But yeah, it looks very interesting. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm not going to overhype it, but it seems like it is in their mind. They had Stadia in their mind when they were sort of promoting it out, and then took that off. So it'll be interesting. Now, talking of interesting, some interesting comments that I came across recently that I just want to share with you guys, and really about the nature of how gaming is changing and how Stadia is sort of the perfect vehicle, not just Stadia, but cloud gaming. But I would say Stadia, actually, because of the cloud gaming platform, it is the most convenient. Yeah. GeForce Now, really cool. Yeah, great. Love it. Whatever. It's a pain in the butt to set it up, run. It doesn't feel as flexible and instant and mobile. Yeah. Too many fiddly bits to get through. xCloud, well, it's got its issues. Loads of games, but it's a secondary service. It's not the main service. So Stadia is built for, and Luna to a certain degree, is built for the pick up and play anywhere. And there was this interesting article here in Games Industry Biz with Strauss Zelnick, our old friend from Take-Two Publishing, who, you know, whatever you think about him, he knows what he's talking about in terms of running one of the most successful publishing companies, game publishing companies in the world. But he's saying here about how the pandemic has been a boost to the gaming industry, but not a fleeting boost. It's permanent. Yeah. And his main take here, interactive entertainment is now the #1 entertainment vertical, very business talk that, entertainment vertical in terms of revenue. And I guess people still don't fully realize that. And a good deal of that growth was driven by people either discovering, and this is the key thing here, by people either discovering or rediscovering interactive entertainment and its social aspects during the pandemic. As people discover and rediscover entertainment, they realize we and our competitors offer incredible graphics, great stories, and great characters. So what he's talking about there is about people rediscovering gaming. Yeah. And as I showed you right at the beginning, there was somebody in the chat, Halushko, who's saying, you know, that he got sent a Stadia, used to play on PlayStation 4, got sent Stadia Premier bundle because he had YouTube Premium, and he's hardly touched his PlayStation 4. And then we see on Reddit so many people who go, I fell out of gaming, and then Stadia's. You see, I see so much on Twitter and on Reddit, people saying, Stadia became on the back burner as family life came in, and then I discovered it. I love the ease and convenience and all of that. And this is exactly what Strauss Zelnick is talking about. And we know Strauss Zelnick also said that he didn't see cloud gaming having a massive immediate impact like everybody else seemed to think it would. But they would support cloud gaming where it made business sense. And in this case, it's with Stadia, and they continue to support Stadia. I've done all that. I've talked about that at length. But he was right. It was never going to have the impact, that massive impact instantly that everybody thought it would. But it's the start of an evolution. It will have an incremental impact over a longer period of time. And I think that's what we're seeing it. And the pandemic has made people rediscover gaming, and things like GeForce Now, Luna, or Stadia has allowed people, and even xCloud, to game and rediscover their love of gaming, especially Stadia. As I say, anecdotally, you see it all the time. People who say they've fallen in love with gaming thanks to Stadia because they couldn't justify buying a console. They couldn't get a console. And yet now they can have a console-like experience, play AAA games like Resident Evil Village on their mobile phone, on their TV, on their laptop, on the browser, with ease, to a quality almost as good as you're going to get on your PlayStation 5 or Xbox, unless you're putting them next to each other, right? And who is going to do that other than for scientific experimentation and analysis? Nobody's going to do that. But so that I was going to talk about that. But the interesting thing here is I'm going to come to something later on about Google development. But when I was researching this and looking into it, I came across this very interesting op-ed from the head of Stadia UX, user experience. Where has it gone? Here it is. Excuse me. So this is from Megan Timney. Megan Timney. Who remembers Megan Timney? She was in the Google Connect back in June, I think it was, last year. Megan Timney. And she is head of user experience research at Stadia. And she wrote this op-ed. This is on a site called Games.with Google. And the reason I discovered this site, I'll come to later. But it's basically, I'm not sure exactly when this was written, but it was fairly recently, because she's talking about the pandemic of last year. And she's saying the global pandemic's had an enormous impact on the gaming industry. More than ever, gaming, and so this is echoing what Strauss Zelnick said, gaming has become a source of connection and community for people around the world while we shelter in one place. Over the last year, we've seen how staying at home has meant the number of people playing games increased dramatically. The kind of games people play changed significantly. Mobile game downloads increased 75% in Q1. Gaming live stream increased by 45%. And playtime hit a peak of 90 million plus hours in the last 10 days of March. A 62% increase compared to the first 10 days of January. The nature of this new normal is one of an integrated experience. And then she goes on here. Games are becoming more integrated into daily lives. With gaming becoming more embedded in our lives, more people experiencing games in a non-linear fashion, This is especially true for people who've been asked to manage kids kept home from school while also trying to get a little work done. Instead of going on a 6-hour raid, they might play for 6 minutes during downtime at work or between meals. Cloud-based platforms like Stadia enable this by allowing players to stop a game, pick up where they left off, or to start a game on one device and continue on another. This is exactly the Stadia demographic. This is what they're going for. So this is the core demographic they're going for, the lapsed gamers. She goes on to say here that there is gaming should be, I'll just quickly read this bit before I go on a big rant about it. Gaming should be something for everyone. There is an enormous audience of potential gamers that remains largely untapped. This is the key thing. Largely untapped. Whether it's seniors, who are you looking at? Who are you don't be rude. Seniors or lower income people who don't have the means to spend $3,000 on a gaming PC. For example, there are between 300 and 400 million people worldwide who suffer from one or more physical impairments, whether sight, hearing, motor, or cognitive skills. Now companies like Microsoft, Unreal began focusing on accessible experiences, etc., etc. Games are the center of democratizing joy. So this is the core demographic, and this is the potential for Stadia, yeah? It's not for the core target audience is not for the people that've got, oh, I see, Clive, thing is, you see, I've got the PlayStation 5 here, right? And I've got my Xbox Series X here, and I've got my £3,000 3090 RTX PC gaming PC here, and I've got Stadia here, and I was playing Resident Evil Village on Stadia, and then I compared it to my PlayStation 5, and then I compared it to my Xbox One X, and then I compared it to my RTX 3090 and all of that, and there was a slight difference. I know it's on it's not aimed at you, Stadia. You're not its core target audience. Yeah. So if you're not 100%, well, it's not quite my cup of tea. Yeah, it's not meant to be your cup of tea, to be honest. It's not to say if you've got all those machines and you're sort of, a first early tech adopter and you're interested in technology and stuff like that, of course you're going to get Stadia and things like that. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, is if you feel that sometimes Stadia, it's not quite graphically up there for me, or it's not quite performing, maybe that's because it's not really aimed at you. And so maybe your criticism is slightly out of place because you're not the core demographic of what the potential of Stadia is. The casual gamer. Basically what Megan Timney here has described, and to a certain degree what Strauss-Zelnick has described, is about this untapped market of casual gamers. Yeah? Gandhara, I couldn't have put it better than myself. Stadia is good enough. Okay, it is up there or thereabouts at its best. Resident Evil Village, it is there or thereabouts as your current gen. Yeah, unless you're sitting down and putting them next to each other and comparing the two, it's up there. And if you are, well, who does that? Others say, other than for research benefit and just out of curiosity. So I just thought it was interesting. Anyway, this whole article that I came across from Megan Timney. And I did check on LinkedIn, and she, according to LinkedIn, she's still there. So it's not, I didn't want to make a faux pas and suddenly realize she'd been made redundant or something. No, she's there, and she's the head of user experience research at Stadia. So it's interesting anyway, just the fact that I came across that article by interview with Strauss-Zelnick. And he was saying about how the pandemic has made people rediscover gaming and brought people together with gaming and stuff like that. And then this article from Megan Timney here on a separate site, also talking about that audience and stuff. This is what Google Stadia is aiming at, really. And not just Google Stadia, Luna as well. Luna's probably the closest other example. before GeForce Now and xCloud. Luna and Stadia clearly aiming at that sort of pick up a game, play it, move to another device and play it. Talking of old world things, Google is opening a store. Where's that bit? They're opening a store in New York, ladies and gentlemen. This is on the Google site. Welcome to Google Store in New York City. They're announcing it, opening the doors in the summer of 2021. So basically, it's a glorified brand extension. Not what these big stores are. They are effectively, they can almost be funded under the marketing budget. They're not really a retail offering. They're what known as the trade as a brand store, like a giant interactive billboard where you can go in and test stuff and stuff like that. Of course, it will have a retail offering and stuff like that, but it's the retail sort of targets aren't going to be like a normal shop because it's meant to be a showroom, effectively, a brand, a giant billboard poster, as I said. So, say people will be able to go in and have a look at all the kind of Nest products and Google Chrome and stuff like that. And some eagle-eyed person, I can just about see it now. Yeah, I could just see it. You can't see it here. The little Stadia logo. So somebody eagle-eyed person spotted the Stadia logo in there. But anyway, check out your Pixel phones and all that kind of stuff. So that's just interesting. Another opportunity, another place to showcase Stadia, maybe sell Premier editions or if there's a new bundle and stuff like that. Hey, Carlos Bermudez, thank you for the subscription. Really, really appreciated. Really appreciated. Right. Now, and I can't believe I'm going to have to say this, but ladies and gentlemen, let me just close all these windows. I like windows open, a lot of windows. This whole kind of, maybe Stadia's winding down. Stadia won't last till the end of the year. I can't even, anyway, forget that nonsense. Yeah? As I've said, the last 3 weeks, I think, follow the breadcrumbs. There is a very clear future forming if you follow the path for Stadia. I've mentioned this before, as I mentioned it last week, mentioned it the week before. Yeah, on this channel. And I mentioned it the week before that. Follow the breadcrumbs. Yeah. Stadia and Google continue to make investment. Like I said, in things like the Stadia makers. Investing in up and coming developers. Investing in the games of the future. Yeah. And all of that. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, now there is this. There is a Google for Games Developer Summit 2021, July the 12th to July the 13th. With a surge of new gamers and an increase in the time spent playing in games last year, it's more important than ever to delight and engage players. We're here to help you build high-quality experiences and take your games to the next level. Join us for our online event, July the 12th to 13th, as we share new products and solutions across Google, ladies and gentlemen, across Google. Yeah, but Clive, yeah, maybe they're just talking about, games for Google Play and Android games. It's no guarantee that they're talking about Stadia, Clive, is it? It could just be, yes, no, you're right. It could just be for that. Let's just check out Google for Games though, yeah? See what they do. What are the solutions that Google Games offer? Let's just have a look. Let's go business, scale your business. Right, let's just have a look at some of the solutions on offer under the umbrella Google for Games. Yeah, let's have a look at some of the solutions, shall we? Blah, blah, blah. Make expert YouTube videos. People love watch and share. Fine, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Drive the best return on investment with closed loop marketing. Stadia. Blah, 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 blah. Analyze your software performance on CPU hardware. Stadia. Leverage detailed timing and occupancy information for GPU hardware. Stadia. Quickly allow single frame capture of game to Stadia. Streamline your Stadia. Provide developers Stadia. Enhance your Stadia. Do Stadia and development. Ensure the developer Stadia. Make sure you Stadia. No, YouTube. Anyway, so just rest assured that Google for Games, Stadia is part of Google for Games. So in their developer Google for Games development conference, July the 12th to 13th, you can probably expect some Stadia showcases there. Yeah. This is all about, this working with partners. We've heard this phrase before. Oh, that means white label, Clive. They're going to turn into a white label. That's what it means when they say working closely with publishers and developers, Clive. It's going to be a white label. White label. I heard that word and now I use it a lot. White label. White label. No. When we hear about this team working on gamer tools, this is what Stadia is doing. They're working on gamer tools, ladies and gentlemen. More and more I see the Stadia team working on gamer tools. For instance, partnering with partnering with Take-Two to develop a cloud gaming solution for hosting games. So that's an initiative Cloud Gaming is doing. Developing specific gamer tools to help developers develop games, not just for the cloud, but mainly for the cloud. Specific tools to help those developers get their games in the cloud. Why offer new gaming tools and solutions? Yeah, why would they want to do that? Simples. Because Stadia see themselves very much at the forefront of gaming in the cloud and game development for the cloud. So they're creating the tools for the future place of where games will exist. Stadia is the one pioneering the tools for this future. It's Stadia who are developing developer tools to make it even easier to help developers and publishers get their games on Stadia and develop games specifically for Stadia. Just as Phil Harrison said back in February of the closing of Stadia Games and Entertainment, they'll be working with their developers and publisher partners to help get the games on Stadia. You do that by providing tools specifically for that. Working with our partners to provide the best gaming experience. This is an example of that. Yeah. Lots of development tools and a developer, game development conference specifically for Stadia and Android and stuff like that. This is exactly as Phil Harrison said and exactly as Nate Ahern said last week in his interview. Working with developers and publishers to get their games onto the platform. And that means also working, on developing tools to help that process. Anyway, there we go. That was it, Viv. Yeah, Google. Yeah, it's not Stadia in 2K, but it's Google in 2K. But you can see how Google can see the future and they can leverage the power of the cloud, whether it's directly for Stadia or working with other publishers. And the way you do that, you realize more and more systems move to the cloud, is you develop the tools that people then rely on in the future. That'd be pretty cool. A retro emulator in the cloud. Quite a cool idea. I like that. I like that. I like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Stadia Pro predictions. What are your Stadia Pro predictions, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have a look. Surely Arc. Yeah. Let's go to the chat. Where's my chat gone? There it is. Let's have a look at... So what games do you think we're going to see in... Let's go to the news here. Let's have a look in the store. So surely Ark. Now Ark, the DLC for Ark got pushed back. So whether that has an impact on when Ark Survival comes to Stadia, I don't know. We'll see. Junior Thanos says Google has information from players playing games, so they'll use this data to improve the service. Exactly. They know, and they'll start pivoting towards using that as an analysis to decide on what games they need to bring to the platform. There's, a finite amount of resources, so you need to concentrate on what your data is telling you. Now, sometimes that's just bring the big games, the AAAs, yeah? But then sometimes that matrix of information will be telling you, oh, bring more family games or more co-op games or whatever that information. So they will use that information and data strategically to make sure they get the games that suit the platforms that gamers want on the sort of games that they're going to play on Stadia. Anyway. Yeah, Vivi plays. I agree. I did see that, that DLC was delayed. I mean, it could come without the update, as you say. It may not impact on the Stadia launch. It just means that Stadia will get the DLC at the same time everybody else does. I doubt it'll be any game that's in the sale. Street Power Football's only just out, although we have seen them do this, be a bit naughty and release it straight afterwards. I wonder whether there's a sort of, if a certain game, a small indie game doesn't hit enough sales, they just do a deal and go, we'll stick it on Pro. Ubisoft games, I don't think so, because they're available on Ubisoft Plus. Won't be any Stadia Pro games. Let's have a look at all the games. Figment was a Pro. Right, let me see, honestly. I know, I've been to... Exactly, I've got... For the last 2 or 3 months, I'm sure there's games I've not touched. Let me say last time. So I did play Trine. Obviously Resident Evil 7. Yeah, there's a few games I've not played in the room. Dark Side Detective comes to Pro. Well, it is due, isn't it? It was due. It just missed the window. So maybe that's a good shout, Vivi. Maybe Dark Side Detectives. Oh, I hope Saints Row would be cool, wouldn't it? Oh, Mafia, yeah. Monkey Boy, Mafia, yeah. What the hell has happened to Mafia? Can we just forget about it and when it just turns up, be just like, whee? Maybe that's what the delay is. In order for it to come Pro, they need to give it a window. Like maybe that's what the deal is. The other platforms need a window, So I think it's a Take-Two title have said, okay, but we want a window before it becomes a free game on Stadia, effectively a pro game. So maybe that's, maybe there's a 12-month window and then they go, right, now it can go as a pro game. Don't know. Maybe that could be a shout. Maybe that's why we don't hear about Mafia. Maybe it's just waiting to be a pro game. Imagine if they said, right, would you be happy? Here's a question. Would you be happy if they just dropped Mafia and nothing else? Like the collection, so 3 games. Or they could do a Hitman and just say, here's Mafia 1. And you can buy 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm wondering now whether there's... Super Animal Royale. Well, is it going to be free to play anyway? Super Animal Royale. Maybe. Not sure. Yeah, that would be a good shout. Terraria. Interesting one. It's hard, isn't it? Claimed. I'm looking at all the ones. Pro deals. Cosmic Star Heroine. Throw that in. Yeah, look, you can't see what I'm showing here. Here, look. Cosmic Star Heroine. That could be one. That's got That's got pro game written all over it. Oh, yes. Alberto Madonna. Yes. Secret Neighbor is due, isn't it, as a pro game? Was it the Secret Neighbor Engineer? Hello, Engineer. That was announced last year. First on Stadia. Yeah. I'm not sure about the wine game maker game. Maybe it's too early for that. I know they've done it in the past, but I can't see it. Oh. Yeah, see, we're focusing on the indie games here, but I guess history has taught us that that's probably, if you're a betting person, that maybe that makes sense. I can see Winemaker as a pro game in a few months. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate the meal replacement stuff. Yeah, 100 days, I think, is a pro for later. I'll give that's a pro game. I'll give it a go. But yes, Hello Engineer, we're due. So we know we're due Ark as a pro game. We know Dark Side Detectives was meant to be a pro game. And Hello Engineer is a first on Stadia. So that seems to make sense that it would be a pro game. So they're all in there. They're all up there. Ninja Turtle games. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? The devs commented on it. Ah. Yeah. Lord Vivek is saying the 100 games developers said commented on it might be. Yeah. So I can definitely see that coming later on. Yeah. Well, exactly. You're not going to, if things are selling well, you're not going to make them pro games straight away. But that's fine. You know, I'm getting to the stage where there was sort of an early stage where I sort of not buy everything, but, you know, if it was cheap enough, I'd give it a go and support it. But now I quite like, you know, the fact that pro games give you the opportunity to try something, you know, give it a go that you might not always try yourself. You know, previously. Right, I'm saying Ark and Hello Engineer. Not yet. Not yet. They haven't officially been announced on the kids' games. Yeah, I think it's definitely 100 days has definitely got. It's a bit like that Rain. It's a bit like Rain. Remember the card game? It's a bit like that. It's got pro written all over it, as I said. Oh. I think of a Capcom game. Oh, my God, that'd be redonkulous, Junior. Street Fighter. If it's Street Fighter 5, hello. I can't imagine it would be, but that would be no. We're dreaming now. We're just dreaming, speculating. Wouldn't take it seriously, but yeah. But we know potentially there are other Capcom games coming. We know they've got a relationship. They've demonstrated that you don't put that, you know, that Capcom can do a good job porting games to Stadia. So yeah, look out for those. And bear in mind, like I said, it was a quiet week last week with Stadia. We know we've got the Stadia Pro games coming this week, being announced this week. Plus, we know we're coming into the season of game announcement, what with E3 and other things like that. So this is the period of time in which games get announced. So publishers and developers will be announcing kind of, you know, games coming up soon. So we know there's going to be a few Stadia banded about there, here and there. So, yay, Peter! Thank you for the subscription there. Before it disappears, look. Yay, Pieter. I didn't see the accent there. Pieter. Thank you for the subscription. Much appreciated. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a day there. Thank you, everybody who came into the chat. It's always great to have a chat with you guys. It's always wonderful to see those of you in here live as it happens. I really, really appreciate it. It helps the show bob along and have this kind of interaction. I hope the games that that are announced for Stadia Pro are something you will enjoy and get involved in there. Hello, Sco. Hello, Sco. Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. Madam, thank you. Much appreciated. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Don't forget to hit the likes if you haven't already hit the likes and all of that. Thank you, all the new subscribers. Really, really appreciated. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as I say, look out. Rock will be doing his sort of Stadia blog post live reaction show thing tomorrow. So look out for that. Hopefully it should be a good one if they publish the blog on time, the Stadia blog on time. But it should be a good one. It's always a good one when they announce the Stadia. Hey, Nugaria Jara, K-pop channel. Yeah, we love the K-pop channel. Thank you for the subscription. Really much appreciated. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'll see you around very, very soon. Oh, yes. Actually, before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, before I forget, a little teaser before I go. Should have done that earlier. I apologize, but look out. There'll be a tweet from me after the show. Little teaser. And look out for similar tweets throughout the week from other Stadia content creators and Stadia community folk. Similar to that. So look out, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for the tweet. This image on it. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you around very, very soon.